OK, on to the news of today. Britain's daily COVID cases hit a new record high of 218,000 yesterday. And, of course, with that, there's a record number of people now self-isolating. And one of the areas that's been particularly struggling because of this is schools. Lots of teachers off sick at the moment. Now, it's been suggested that schools could suspend the teaching of specialist subjects like music, maybe religious studies, health education is being suggested as well, to help cope with staff shortages. And then we're thinking, with schools suffering, maybe, Janet, I think you mentioned this, is this something where you think parents could possibly step in and help?
Yeah, I do, because I think that the people who are going to suffer most from those subjects being removed from the curriculum will be the pupils that need them the most. And I mean, speaking from my own experience, music, art and all those kind of subjects are things that people really shine in and find, you know, mental solace in. And God knows pupils have been through an appalling time, being taught at home, being isolated from their friends, and now they can go back to school. All right, they're going to have to wear a mask, and I think, you know, that's just something that they'll have to get on with. And I do think there's a role for parents and possibly grandparents to work with schools. I mean, loads of these people volunteered with the vaccination programme, so why can't they help out in schools with break times, with teaching music and doing some form of physical education, or, you know, just assisting staff who are obviously going to be operating under tremendous stress.
I think you've got to do everything to get the children back at school and keep them back at school. There'll be obviously many parents who are watching even saying, well, I'd love to go and volunteer, but I have to work, and that's been a big problem.
Oh, yeah, well, it will be,
for, you know, for having to homeschool, that the parents have to be at home. But what they're saying, I kind of understand what they're saying is, look, yes, obviously those subjects are important, but it's important to do the core subjects, particularly students who are coming up to exams. So, you know, maths, science, English. Yes, if they miss PE, they miss music, it probably won't affect them as badly as if they're not doing their core subjects.
Well, I take that on board, but I still think that downgrading these subjects in favour of maths, English and so on is not a great idea. I think that to some pupils they're absolutely essential.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do.
That's what they want to do, and it's that's what they find rewarding. And we have to keep that in mind, that not all pupils are academically minded, not all pupils have got the same priorities.
But that's what we've always done anyway. That's what I used to do all the time. I used to go and help when they were in the nursery, the kids go and help with their reading. And on the school trips, I'd go out on the school trips. The thing that I found most difficult was the homeschooling.
Did you help with that with your...
Sometimes I had my grandchildren and I'd be left to homeschool them. I didn't have a clue what to do, honestly.
Now,
it's all different, and it's all online, and so I'd have to get Lila, who's 9, to set up the computer and everything. It was like, it was my worst nightmare. So Lauren would get home and go, how'd you get on today? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good, weren't it, girls?
Well, I tell you what,
really
every credit to you and every other parent and grandparent out there, because all I could think during lockdown was, thank God my kids aren't at school. Because even when Kira was at school and she was coming home with maths homework, can you help me with that? And I would help her, because it was primary school. I was thinking, oh, this is easy. And then she'd go mental because I was doing it the wrong way. I was like, well, what do you mean I'm doing it the wrong way? We don't do it like that anymore. We don't do it that way. And I gave up in the end. So I'd be rubbish going to help out at school, actually.
We probably, I think,
but we can certainly help out in English classes if you can't do
and also
maths.
Sometimes it's just to sit in there and supervise, so they're doing their work and they've got an adult there making sure they're not just messing about. I could do that, but don't come to me with.
I mean, you'd like to think there would be maybe retired music teachers, or you know, that would happily go in and maybe volunteer so that they don't have to drop those subjects. It could. I mean, I don't know. It could be something to do with numbers of people in the building at any one time. That, you know, there might be restrictions with that. But I think it is. You know, I think parents are just desperate to get their kids back to school. The kids are desperate to be back at school. So I think it's a.
I know they're talking about combining class sizes and doing that to you know, teach more people with a teacher at the front of the class. But there is a role for more supervision if that's the case.
I volunteer you, Janet.
Yeah. You volunteer me. Well, I did a teaching series for a long time ago, and I had to teach maths to 9-year-olds, and I can remember how incredibly difficult it was.
I'd be the dinner lady, giving loads of pudding.
Extra custard.
No, I'll be the disciplinarian.
I do anything, just don't give me maths.
Don't
make me do maths.
Please don't give me maths.
No. Let us know what you think. You know, many of you, I know, worried about your kids and things, and the testing, get the testing kits even. We'd love to hear from you, because this is your show as well.